Hey guys, it's Hunter. Welcome back to another episode of Askgufish. This is a series where I answer the questions you guys leave on Discord, and we talk about this week in guitar gear. On that note, if you got a question for a future episode, don't forget to join our Discord server if you haven't already. Link will be in the description, and if you're going to enjoy the video, do me a favor and gently nuzzle that like button, or whatever you're feeling. It actually really helps out with the wacky and wild adventure ride that is the YouTube algorithm. And with that, a lot to talk about this week. Let's jump into your questions. Average Beeman G Enjoyer asks, thoughts on Dave Mustaine's signature Explorer from Gibson, and Simp Do Guy asks, have you seen the USA Kramer from Dave Mustaine's post? If so, thoughts? Gibson and their teases staying in the news yet again for another week. A lot of people talking about this. Here's what's up. So if you check out Dave Mustaine's Instagram, you can see at 60 he's still doing dumb shit for the lads. Love it. But also he's posted a photo of his latest unreleased prototypes at the Gibson shop, and his signature Explorers are confirmed on the way. They've got top body binding, fingerboard binding, so that Explorer custom look, but then the headstock is unbound, which suggests Gibson USA instead of custom shop. Interesting, these would have top body binding when his V's had no binding, but I'm not complaining because this looks cool as hell. Explorer custom vibes at USA pricing. We've got ebony, natural, and then in the middle a gold top with a black back for an Explorer. Sick. You know, I used to think they were really ugly, but since I've become a dad, I've been way more into gold tops. And I feel like there should be a scientific study about that. Something changes in your brain, man. Anyways, 24 frets on an Explorer. I think that alone is going to sell a lot of people on this model. The V's were unique because they had the Explorer headstock, but these are much more comfortable sitting down guitars. I know you're supposed to play V's in classical style or whatever, but fuck that. Yeah, I'm really interested in that gold top Explorer, but can you launch the Epiphones now, please? Then, huge news for Kramer fans. They're coming home. On the headstock of the Kramer in the shot, it says Kramer USA. They've been an import-only brand for a while, kind of an afterthought in the Gibson family. Not as bad as Steinberger, which has basically been Harry Pottered into the cupboard under the stairs, but still, compared to Epiphone, they really don't get that much love. But that might change because production is coming back to the USA. This is the only confirmed model so far. It's got 24 frets, a Floyd, and similar diamond inlays to the Rust in Peace V. So when they do the big reveal for Kramer USA's launch, what better way to do it than by including a Dave Mustaine model? Now, gotta be honest, to me it looks like any other metal super strat. Like, this design is very Jackson-esque, and well, it is for Dave Mustaine, so maybe that's the point. And just looking at this picture, it's kind of funny. Everyone's been asking for a Gibson James Hetfield Explorer forever, and Dave Mustaine is beating him to it. Let's also talk about the Flying V's in the back, though. The headstock layout with the Bell truss rod cover is what Gibson did with their Flying V's in the mid-80s. And that time period seems to be a point of focus for Gibson right now, right? Like, Cesar G posted a teaser to his Instagram posing with an aged white 84 style Explorer that a lot of people, myself included, were like, please let this be a Hetfield model. Tinfoil hats on for a second though. I would like to present the fact that while James Hetfield never specifically played an 80s Gibson Flying V, you know what he did play in the 80s? A lot of his guitar parts for Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning were recorded with an Electra Flying V, and guess what style Flying V it is? 80s. You can tell by the triangle control layout. And he's quoted as saying, it was the second guitar I ever owned and I probably bought it for 200 bucks. I knew it was a copy, but we treated it as a real Gibson. And to the point where he even put a Gibson truss rod cover on it. So that would be kind of awesome if Hetfield got his own Slash story. You know, replace custom shop quality Chris Derrig handcrafted replica with a $200 bolt-on Electra. And I know, the headstock, body color, the pickguard is all different. Maybe it's the one in the back because the Electra is based on late 70s, early 80s, not mid 80s. So it's a big stretch. All I'm saying is that with this 80s focus, I wouldn't completely rule out a Hetfield Explorer and Flying V, although with the evidence we have, it's far more likely that these are standard production 80s reissues. The hopium is fading for sure. But yeah, just some of my thoughts. What are you guys thinking about the new Mustaine signature models, Kramer USA, my tinfoil hat Hetfield theory? Let me know down below. And a quick update to this that just dropped after filming. Who's ready for a Dave Mustaine Les Paul? Because we're getting one. And I'm kind of pumped. So again, this comes from Mustaine's guitar tech, who loves dropping teases on Instagram. than sitting back with a bucket of popcorn and watching the scene unfold. So some key details: no binding on the headstock, so it looks like a Gibson USA standard, not a custom shop. No poker chip, same witch hat control knobs and Seymour Duncan Thrash Factor 59 pickup set as his Flying V's, same signature inlays too. And a key point, 24 frets on a Gibson USA Les Paul. Now, the interesting thing about this, check out the spacing between the pickups. From this angle, it looks to be about the same spacing as you'd find on a normal Les Paul standard. Here's the thing though, check out the Les Paul Prophecy. It also has 24 frets, but see how the pickups are closer together? So when you add 24 frets to a 24 3/4 inch scale length instrument, you have to move the neck pickup back to make room. And it doesn't look like they've moved it back here, meaning this could be a 25.5 inch scale Gibson Les Paul standard with an ebony board and blacked out hardware. Metal as still not entirely sold on those inlays, though I guess having that much mother of pearl on an ebony fingerboard is nice. I associate Dave Mustaine mostly with Flying V's, so seeing him with a Les Paul is going to be kind of weird. Honestly, I kind of don't even care if he doesn't play it at all. I want one. And just like that, I've completely lost interest in the Explorer. But how do you guys feel about this one? On a related note, Rob Trujillo also posted pictures from a recent tour at the Gibson factory. And you know, with how they've snapped up Kirk Hammett and a bunch of other people, every time we see anyone pictured with a Gibson, it's now like, oh shit, are they joining Gibson too? And it could be the bassist of Metallica is joining Gibson. I'm not totally convinced though. His wife Chloe is a musician as well. Seems she's a big Gibson fan. And if you're a guitar player, I don't care if you're not a fan of Les Pauls or Explorers or whatever, the Gibson factory tour is a really cool experience if you're in Nashville. So while I'm sure Gibson would love if Rob were to come on board, you know, getting half of Metallica on the artist roster, or 3/4, make the Hetfield Explorer a real thing, you cowards. But Gibson is actually starting to give a slight shit about bass recently, so who knows? You know what I give more of a shit about than bass though? Today's sponsor, Established Titles. Let's take a quick second to thank Established Titles for sponsoring today's video. And Established Titles is based on the historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to lords or ladies. Established Titles lets you buy plots of at least 1 square foot of dedicated land on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, so you can officially obtain the title Lord whatever, Lady whoever. It's a fun, novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global reforestation efforts. And this is a title you can actually use. You can put it on airplane tickets, Costco memberships, credit cards, Starbucks orders. And one of my favorite things, they support global reforestation, working with organizations like One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future. So, for every order, a tree gets planted. In fact, with Trees for the Future alone, they've planted over 2 million trees globally. And that's great for us guitarists because guess where wood comes from? Makes for a memorable last-minute gift, especially for those hard-to-shop for friends. It's a fun way to support environmental conservation. So head on over to establishedtitles.com/Agufish or click the link in the description. The first 200 people to claim title packs using my link will reserve plots of land right next to mine, so that's kind of cool. Right now they're running a big Black Friday sale, and if you use the code Agufish, you can get an additional 10% off. So there's never been a better time to snag your lord or your ladyship and plant some trees. Plus, clicking the link supports the channel by letting them know that I sent you. And while you're checking that out, let's get back into your questions. Raven6606 asks, have you seen the Made in England custom shop announcement from Chapman? And if so, what are your thoughts? You know, I love it when 30 minutes after a video is finalized, something big happens. In last episode's case, we talked about the revamped Chapman Standard Series, and then like half an hour later, they go and drop a completely brand new flagship line. So my very specific annoyance aside, let's talk about them. So remember the British Standard Series? It was unveiled at NAMM 2018. And the basic concept was Chapman's Pro Series designs, but at a custom shop quality level made in Chapman's native UK. They showed off 4 models at the show, MLs 1, 2, and 3, and a ghost fret. Super nice fade tops, neck through except for the ML3. Roasted maple too. Man, that ML2 is so cool. Incredible color, roasted maple neck through single cut. It ended up with Rabia. I'm so jealous, it's so sick. But so anyways, the story goes that the guy who ran the workshop that was supposed to be building the British Standard Series suddenly retired, and so the project was put on hold indefinitely. Now, I think Chapman definitely could have communicated a little better on this. They kind of just went radio silent, and pretended the whole thing never happened. But I get it, you don't want to throw anyone under the bus just because they wanted to enjoy retirement. But so while the British Standard Series was dead, Chapman never gave up on the concept of a UK-built custom shop level line. And to that end, they've just launched the Workshop series. They're only offering the ML1X right now. I'd assume the idea is to introduce more shapes over time as the series develops. Each one is built to order. Basic specs include an African mahogany body with your choice of a 5-inch flame or quilt maple top, nitro finish, satin back. You can choose whether you want the top to be satin or gloss, roasted flame or bird's eye maple satin neck, with oval V, soft D, or C shape options, 22 jumbo stainless steel frets, lumen lays, and you can even decide if you want a 14-inch or 12-inch fingerboard radius. There are fingerboard inlays, it's just very difficult to see the walnut donuts in the stock photos on the patterned wood. Proprietary Chapman Carnix vintage hot pickups, CTS pots, and a custom Wilkinson 2-point trem. Kind of interesting, they're not offering a hipshot hardtail option or an option to swap the pickups with Seymour Duncan since they have a strong partnership with them, but it's understandable. Keep the third-party options limited so it reduces outside bottlenecks. And there are quite a lot of top color options too. Autumn Woodland Burst, Winter Sky, Hawkwing Fade, Dark Dimension, Quick Sand, Cloaran Fade, Mountain Stream, Cardinal Red, Dark Dune Burst, and Midnight Raven. Not including tax, they're priced at £29.99, which is about $3,600 US. Now, that is a lot of money, no doubt. In context with similar guitars in the market, super premium build quality with highly figured roasted maple necks, 2-point trems, stainless steel frets. For me, Ernie Ball Music Man is a brand that comes to mind. And these Workshop series guitars are more expensive than a Sabre, but you also have that custom built to order aspect to them. But at the same time, yeah, that's a lot of money. I'm not too big into super strats, so these aren't really on my radar yet. Might change when they add a single cut to the line. The colors are really cool, like a custom spec'd roasted flame maple necked ML2 would be very sick. But either way, do you guys realize this is a huge milestone for Chapman guitars? Started as like a special limited merch run for Rob's channel, now they're making custom shop quality guitars in the UK. Wild. But anyways, those are just some of my thoughts. Here's where I'll throw it to you. What do you think of the Chapman Workshop series? Any and all thoughts, leave them down below. Avibos asks, have you seen the official Harley Benton shop for the USA on Reverb? Will your SIG be available there? Free shipping from Maryland for what looks like the same cost as ordering from Germany. Yeah, so a few weeks back, I told you guys this was coming, and it's been a long time in the works. Harley Benton setting up a warehouse in the US. There's a lot of demand for Harley Benton guitars in the US, and a big barrier is that they only shipped from Germany. The idea is eventually they can streamline the process through Thoman's website, like you check out there, and if you're a US customer, it'll ship from the US warehouse automatically, but that's complicated to implement, so as an intermediate solution, they're doing it through Reverb. And Harley Benton in total literally has hundreds of SKUs, so not everything in the entire catalog is available, at least at launch, but for the holiday, they've stocked up with all the most popular ones. I'll leave a link in the description so you can peruse yourself. You've got a good selection of Fusion Ts, Fusion 3s, Dullahans, SC Deluxe Godot, DC Deluxe Godot, even the ST20 Black Satin, so a lot of the fan favorites. And as Ovibos mentioned, the prices are about the same as ordering from Germany. You do have to pay US sales tax, but you don't have to pay shipping. And of course, returns are much easier. Also, I'm not sure how the QC situation is. That's a big advantage that Harley Benton has over other budget brands. The QC team at Thoman checks the guitars as they come in from the factories and checks them again before they go out to customers. They have a whole established process to make sure as few defective guitars enter the wild as possible. But from what I understand, a big reason why it's taken so long is they were trying to put together a QC process at the US warehouse as well, so American customers get a great playing guitar out of the box for $200, $300. Don't know if that came to be, whether the system is identical to the one in Germany. Don't know if the guitars arrive directly from the factory or whether they're checked in Germany by Thoman before they arrive in the US. I can definitely ask though, so stay tuned to this space. But yeah, Harley Benton's in the US, and we'll see what happens with future model launches. But that leads us nicely into our next block because there are new releases to talk about. Keep this on your radar. Harley Benton has dropped 2 new models, JA20HH and the Victory Active. These follow the lead of the insanely popular ST20 and TE20 Satin Black models. Super simple, big gym root vibes, and they're less than $200. These new ones, also satin black, matching headstocks, no inlays, only a volume knob and pickup selector. So metal. And they come with active Roswell pickups, which from what I recall, they're no EMGs, but for pickups in a guitar that costs less than 200 bucks, they're surprisingly good. Not a huge fan of how the Victory shape came out in the end. We were trying to figure out something that looked decent while also avoiding the wrath of certain lawyers, and that's what they eventually settled on. The JA though, metal Jazzmaster with a hip shot style bridge, it's just cool. That'd be a fun one to mod the shit out of. And I'm not entirely sure if I missed this or just can't remember talking about them or what. I have a new board, man, I'm fucking tired. Nick Johnston has a new signature Schecter line. He's known for his pastel HSS strats with roasted maple necks, and now he's given the PT a similar treatment. Alder bodies, roasted maple necks with ebony fingerboards, telly bridge pickup, then a splittable humbucker in the neck. Awesome. Comes in Atomic Snow, Atomic Ink, Atomic Green, and Atomic Frost. The ebony fingerboards have brass circle inlays, just a very cool modern take on the Telecaster, and at $899, it's a serious competitor to Fender's Player Series Tele. In other random guitar news, Kurt Cobain's stage-used DS1 went to auction and sold for $75,000. That's insane. Even more insane, his completely smashed 73 Fender Mustang went for just under $500K. $500,000 for a smash guitar that duct tape is doing its very best to kind of keep together. I mean, his Lake Placid Blue Mustang that appeared in the Smells Like Teen Spirit video went for $4.5 million, so someone got a bargain on this, I guess. But yeah, just wanted to highlight that because I thought it was wild. But that will do it for this episode of AskGufish. If you made it this far, make sure you're subscribed so that way I can personally drop guitar information, guitar content into your sub feed. You can also hit the notification bell, that way you know the minute a new video goes live. Massive shout out to the awesome patrons who make this and all the other content possible. If you want to get involved, support the channel as well, and get bonus extras, link in the description. You can also join as a channel member to get bonus perks like custom emoticons. Social media, merch, and Discord server links are in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching. You've been awesome, and I'll see you for the next video. I'm not sure when that'll be because I'm going to India for like a week, and I'm going to try to preload videos, but we'll see what happens. Okay, I'll see you later.